This plays.
Let's go, baby. Boom.
Hardest hits.
Woo!
And the craziest stories from around the NFL.
Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Fire the cannons.
This is Sunday Huddle with Colin Russo, presented by Hard Rock Bet.
It is the day of the big game, if you will. The Super Bowl Sunday, the 8th of February, 2026. Welcome on in, folks. Got you for a special 2-hour program of Sunday Huddle presented by Hard Rock Bet on ESPN 106.3. Colin Russo and Cade Chumsland with you. We're at the City Place Studios in downtown West Palm Beach. Having a good time today up until 12 on ESPN West Palm on Twitter and Facebook, and ESPN South Florida on YouTube and on your radio dial at ESPN 106.3. We get a 6:30 kick in Santa Clara, California at Levi's Stadium, where the San Francisco 49ers usually play. That is where Super Bowl 60 will be taking place between the New England Patriots and the Seattle Seahawks, both finishing their regular seasons with 14 wins apiece. And the Patriots, who have come in on different types of paths comparatively to the Seattle Seahawks. The New England Patriots started off their postseason and took down a Charger team that was beat up on the offensive line. It was really a non-contest for the most part in that one. Then they get into their second game in the divisional round, and at home in a snowy, cold Foxborough day, they have C.J. Stroud turn the ball over 4 times in the first half and win that game by over a possession as well, 28-16, I believe. And then get into the following week, and despite the Denver Broncos taking down the Buffalo Bills at home in the divisional round, Bo Nix hurts his ankle the last couple plays of the game, and Jarrett Stidham, making his first start in 2 years, started the game and in the AFC Championship game at Mile High against the Patriots. And after taking a 7-0 lead, not taking your field goal points to make it 10-0 in the second quarter, the Patriots rumble back, and they're able to score and win the game in a snow tundra in that second half and move on to Super Bowl 60, where they have been there quite a bit. Boy, oh boy, have the Patriots been to enough Super Bowls. Bob Kraft, as the owner, CEO of the Patriots, has now been to 3 different Super Bowl runs with 3 different coaches and 3 different quarterbacks. So he's done it with other people. Did it with Bledsoe, did it with May, did it with Brady, and did it with Parcells, did it with Belichick, and now has done it with Mike Vrabel. On the other side of things, you get the Seattle Seahawks, also the top seed in their division in the conference. They got the first round bye, and the reason they got this bye is because they were great in the division. You know, they played and beat the Rams 2 times and beat them in the last 6 weeks of the year, and they did the same thing with the 49ers, who they beat them twice in 3 weeks. And those are 2 teams right then and there who are 2 of the tops in the NFC. They were able to beat some of the best. Sam Darnold has played mostly great football. It is probably the most well-rounded team in the entire league. The defense is great. Special teams is great. They have an offensive coordinator that will be making his way to Las Vegas to coach the Raiders after the conclusion of this game. And they have a ton of talent offensively with Kenneth Walker, Jackson Smith-Njigba, A.J. Barner, Darnold, a good offensive line. They got everything. So it's a well-rounded bunch, and they have dominated. It seems like it is their time. They are definitely the favorite coming into the game, a little over 4.5-point favorites. And a lot of people have money on the Patriots. A lot of people have money on the Seahawks. But the storylines around this game reside in Sam Darnold and 2 first-time head coaches going head-to-head in a Super Bowl environment. There's a villain in this game. If you're not a Patriot fan, I'm more likely than not you are rooting against the New England Patriots unless you're an NFC West fan. And seeing the Patriots get back to this area and get back to the promised land, really, after, 4-5 years of no Brady is a little much. No, they didn't have the first coach. Gerard Mayo did not work out. Boom. Then they flip, and then boom, Mike Vrabel's great. And, the Bill Belichick post-Brady years didn't work out. They got to the postseason 1 year with Mac Jones. And then, all right, blew that up. They got a new general manager in Elliott Wolf, and they have pretty much hit every single right button in the last 12 months. So you got to give the Patriots a lot of credit for getting to this point. Definitely fortunate, but you got to give a team credit for winning 3 playoff games. So that's where I stand with this game. Should be a good one. Mike Tirico and Chris Collinsworth on the call. It's going to be on NBC tonight. Bad Bunny is going to be your halftime. And we'll get into all those picks, the miscellaneous and the game picks, throughout this 2-hour program today. We are presented by Hard Rock Bet. If you haven't tried out Hard Rock Bet yet for the big game, there's no better time than right now. New signups can double their winnings on their first 10 bets with a maximum of $50 per bet. The winnings are doubled in your first 10. So what does that mean? All right, you win $100 on your bet. Make that $200 immediately on the Hard Rock Bet app, and that is specific to the big game. Go get started today, and you could also make a $10 big game parlay. What happens when you do a $10 big game parlay? You enter yourself into a chance, a pool, to get $7 million in bonus bets that will be distributed amongst the Hard Rock Bet players from around the country. So you could actually just make a $10 big game parlay. Every big game parlay you make, every time you get entered into this pool to get an access into a little bit of the action of that $7 million pool on the app. You could do this. You could check out the Discover page. You could go player by player, live bets. It has it all on the Hard Rock Bet app. Download today in the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store. It is offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus, physically present in Florida. The wager. Terms and conditions apply. If you're somebody who knows a gambling problem, please call 1-833-PLAY-WISE. Cade, Super Bowl 60. Have you found yourself throughout the last 2 weeks getting more excited, progressively more excited for this game? Or are you sort of at a steady, this is an okay Super Bowl in my eyes? Where do you stand in terms of your excitement level of the Super Bowl the last 2 weeks?
I would give it on a scale of 1 to 10, about a 7.5.
Right.
I'm right at that mid-C level on the grading scale. I think there is potential for this to be a phenomenal Super Bowl. I also see what we kind of had with the Denver Broncos, Seattle Seahawks of the yesteryears, 43-8, 43-9, I believe the final score of that one was.
Remember, everybody thought Denver would play well in that game because there was that great offense.
True, that had extra disappointment to it, but I'm talking about score and game flow. Seattle dominating from start to finish with that excellent defense and their offense getting the job done. That's exactly what I could see happen today. So there is a wide range of emotions I could go with today. I expect Seattle to win. I expect Seattle to control the game. They could blow out. New England could play into it. They know they're well coached. They are disciplined. So this is one of those games where the spectrum has been wider than previous years, but also the storyline, I think, has been very simple throughout the 2 weeks of us getting into this game. So I have expectations, but I see areas where the storyline could flex from one way to the other.
Have you found yourself getting into the two franchises that have made this game? Has that ignited any interest to you?
The franchises, no. The players and the individuals on the teams, yes. I would love to see Sam Darnold or Drake May get it. I love Mike Vrabel as a coach. I've started to love Mike McDonald as a coach since he's come over from Baltimore. There are individuals on these teams that I can root for. JSN has been an amazing talent to see. Stephon Diggs has kind of finally found a home where he doesn't have to be the overly big superstar, but he can still play at an elite level. So I would be happy. There have been years past where there have been people on the teams that I don't want to see win. This year, while the franchises may be the same names as we've always been, especially for you and I in our lifetimes, they're just, okay, it's Seattle and it's New England again. I completely think that the story of the people is 100% different. And I'm not a Patriots hater. I'm not a Seahawks hater. I'm going to be excited for whichever players and coaches win.
I can't stand the Patriots as a franchise, more importantly because of their fans. And I don't like the fact that Boston fans traditionally and continuously are just spoiled with their sports teams. Every other year, there's somebody that's having a really good season. And depending on what sport it might be, whether it be the Bruins or the Celtics or the Red Sox or now the Patriots, I always think just they got something to root for almost always. But you're right to the point that this doesn't feel like a traditional Patriot team based on the players. The path sort of feels a little bit like a traditional Patriots run because a couple fortunate games here and there. You're not putting an asterisk to it, but let's call it like we see it. Their path to the postseason was as, I guess, facilitated as we've seen in quite some time. You know, they didn't need to beat a great quarterback throughout. They did not need to beat, they beat great defenses. I'll give them that. They beat a lot of great defenses. But all three of those defenses that they went through were really good. But they had played no great offenses. And, because of that, you look at this run that they've made, the 3 games that they have won a little differently, because you can make the argument they didn't play the 1 or 2 best teams in the AFC throughout the year. They didn't get to play Buffalo. but in the postseason, I should say. But one thing I will say is the team does feel a little different because May is likable. Vrabel is very likable. They have a bunch of sort of guess who's who on defense. They got a lot of young players that have really stepped up. It's Mac Hollins, who has been a utility player elsewhere. Stephon Diggs, despite him being, sort of like that classic diva receiver, has sort of found a new breath of life with the Patriots. And then defensively, it's the Milton Williamses of the world and the Christian Gonzalez's of the world. It's a fun defense. And it's not somebody that doesn't necessarily, they haven't created a lot of enemies. You're an enemy to the fan base and the franchise as a whole, not to the individual players. So that I agree with. And as for the Seattle side of things, does it feel a little forgotten about the fact that this is a 1 seed who has been 2-0 in the postseason, probably has put together the best resume in the NFL throughout this season? And I got the feeling that they just haven't really gotten the credit for that in terms of how good they have played throughout the year. It seems like throughout the last 2 weeks, everybody's sort of surprised that this is not the Rams and that we have the Seattle Seahawks here. It almost feels like, fine. That's what it kind of feels like in this game. And I don't think it's fair, Cade, the fact that the Seahawks, despite how well they have played, maybe it's the market, maybe it's not the big name quarterback, but they haven't necessarily garnered the attention they probably deserve based on how they performed throughout this year.
1,000%. In fact, if you look at Sam Darnold from a fantasy football perspective, which I did because he was on my team and burned me a lot, he didn't really do anything. That defense dominated. Run game, a two-headed monster with Zach Charbonnet and Kenneth Walker dominated the line of scrimmage there. Sam Darnold, as well as he has played all year, truly has not had to do much. And the times that he has, i.e. both games against the Rams to end the year in the regular season and in the conference championship, the man has been an absolute stud. Man hasn't turned the ball over, especially second half, I should say. First half of that first Rams game, he did. But when he's needed to, in tight moments, man, he's put it on a dot. He's been able to, especially not taking sacks when he doesn't have to, when he can either throw the ball away or go off of his back foot to a wide open JSN. I mean, the man has played lights out from it's almost Brady-like how simple he's made the game of just see receiver, put it on his chest.
He realizes he's not the X factor. And I think that
he doesn't have to be.
That's a luxury to have, a quarterback that's not trying to be a hero. And the weird part is he's capable of doing so. Look at that Ram game, that great defense we're talking about. Rams had 500 yards of offense in that game. They were scoring at will. And I understand they held them to a couple field goal drives that really kind of let them catapult. They had a couple good special teams plays throughout the postseason. But Darnold won that game. Darnold won that game basically himself. He was excellent in that game. Multiple crucial touchdown drives. They were fortunate with the drop punt for the Rams in the first drive of the second half. But outside of that, Darnold played a A+ game. So he knows when he needs to be a hero. And then look at the San Francisco game. That game was 14-0 before you could blink.
Right.
And they immediately had the kick return, and then all of a sudden they had the 2 fumbles in the first quarter for the 49ers. The Seattle Seahawks just pounced on them from there. Darnold realized, all right, I'm just playing keep away the whole time. So he understands what he needs to be in order to win the game. It's unfair, but it's a little Brady-like because Brady knew exactly what he needed to do to win the game. I'm not saying Darnold's a pro at this, but that is what Darnold has done since October. He's done exactly what he has needed to win the game. And he's been fortunate with some special teams, but that's what good teams do. You're not in the Super Bowl just off of quarterback power alone. Look at Buffalo, look at Baltimore. All right. You need to have everything else work out as well. But with this game, all right, let's talk about this for a second. Let's say Seattle wins this football game. And Seattle is able to win a Super Bowl, get back there, first time since Russell Wilson. And Sam Darnold is ultimately able to win a Super Bowl. Let's say he plays well in the game. He's lifting that Super Bowl MVP trophy at the end of the night. Does this change how professional teams view that position, view prospects or players in that position due to the success that Sam Darnold has being on his 5th team, never really getting a long-term commitment from either of the previous 4, and never really playing great I would say, for any of them except for one. You think this changes the perception of the position, of the players at the position, if Darnold's able to pull this off?
I think this solidifies that change. I actually think we've seen this quote unquote change slowly grow throughout the last 2 or 3 years of, okay, we don't need to rely on that crazy first round quarterback to get us all the way there.
But more importantly, if this guy stinks after 2 years, it's not the end of the world.
Correct. Absolutely. But I think there's that aspect. I actually think this year in particular, and Sam Darnold would solidify this, the stress of a head coach quarterback tandem or offensive coordinator quarterback tandem, because when Sam Darnold got into a system that knew how to work with good quarterbacks, not great first rounders, just solid quarterbacks, then he was able to use that knowledge wherever he went after that. Because when he went to San Francisco,
yep.
right?
After Carolina.
After Carolina. So he goes from the Jets, bad quarterback system, bad offensive system, not great coaching. Carolina, at that time, was in the same place. He goes to San Francisco, and he doesn't really, he plays a few games, and he plays really well, but he just learns, and he digests, and he just holds on to everything.
Yeah.
Doesn't see himself in the limelight anymore. Then he goes to Minnesota, and he's able to burst onto the scene with everything he knows and with a good head coach who knows how to work with quarterbacks. And then he just takes everything he had learned into Seattle with a coach who has put an excellent defense together, an offensive coordinator who we now seeing get a head coaching position. This has been the ideal quarterback narrative since Carolina for Sam Darnold. And we're seeing more and more of those situations come about. If Daniel Jones hadn't have gotten hurt, he'd have been in the same situation when it comes to making a deep playoff run, probably for the Colts. We've seen Baker Mayfield rejuvenate his career. And I got a good feeling we'll see other quarterbacks. Geno Smith did it for a second there in Seattle. But this shows that the quarterback position is not the most important thing you need the first 1 or 2 years that you draft him. It is developing him slowly and making sure he has the fundamentals as well as the experience in order to make late game adjustments and plays when you need them to. And honestly, the coaches as a staff should be focused, and especially the ownership putting the roster together, should be focused more on putting together the group that can make a Super Bowl run. Vrabel wasn't just there to help Drake May. Vrabel was there to change the culture and put together a team, and Drake May's development would come with the Josh McDaniels offensive coordinator spot as well. So the whole scientific way of building a team is going to change because of what we've seen this year from both teams in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I hope it does, because I do think the NFL has fallen down a slippery slope of, hey, if this guy doesn't work out in his first, a year and a half, and if he still is not very good and we threw him out there too early and he struggled and he didn't have a good offensive line and the coaching staff was in limbo and all of a sudden he's not good, then let's throw him to the curb because he's not, he's sorry. He's not a good player. Well, then you realize that just about any quarterback in this league needs a good situation in order to succeed. It is not a one position above all. It is a one position in continuity with an entire offense or an entire team. And hopefully that guys who have been, given high draft picks will be given a little bit of time. I think it's a little unfair because, I've been critical of somebody like J.J. McCarthy just because I think they didn't need to play McCarthy because they had Darnold there. That's the only reason. And McCarthy came out. He did not play well. He played very poorly, to be frank. But the one thing about that is he wasn't their only option. Now that he is their only option, now you got to give him time and see if he can figure this out. Give him a couple years, see if he can figure this out. Atlanta Falcons, Michael Penix, see if he can figure this out. And if you give him 3 years of consistent coaching, 2 years this, then he's still not figuring it out, then you can make a move. You got to give him that rookie contract. And I think Trevor Lawrence being a number one overall pick is an example because he struggled. He struggled a lot. He struggled a lot for 4 years. And it was a situation where at first he had Urban Meyer, and that didn't work out. And then all of a sudden it exploded. And then he was with an interim coach, and then he's with Peterson, and now he's with Cohen. It took him to year 5 to really start putting the pieces together. And that was short off season, everything. All that this tells you is that was one of the more gifted prospects we've ever seen. And it took him till year 5 to really start stringing together games. And I watched every snap of his career. And you saw glimpses, but that's just the name of the game. I think the fact is that you're seeing Darnold do this, and you're seeing how these teams are succeeding. And not only they're 2 non-offensive coordinator coaches. So that's another thing to consider. They both don't call the plays. The most valuable position in the entire league is that head coach, by far, right? You nail that head coach, you're going to be in the mix. On top of that, yes, it's important to get a right quarterback in there, but if the system around him, if the support system around him is not any good, I don't care how good he is. Individually, he's going to struggle. So hopefully this changes things. Hopefully this gives the people a little bit of a understanding. Well, Darnold's a good story, but he can never win the big one. Well, he can't ever win a Super Bowl. You need a top 5 guy to win a Super Bowl. Well, do you? How's Lamar been in the postseason? Lamar Jackson. How has Josh Allen been? Good postseason player. How did he do this past year? How did he do in that Denver game? They just fired his coach. So all this tells you, it's about getting the right coach and the right support system in there, and then plug in the X factor. And the X factor, of course, is the quarterback. But hopefully this Darnold thing gives people a little bit more patience. There's a reason that college players no longer want to come out the first chance they get. There's a reason when year 3 hits, or a redshirt sophomore, and they've been 3 years in college, and they want to go back to college. And not only because they're making money, but because it's safer. And the second you enter the league, there is a 2-year clock above your head saying, if he doesn't figure it out in 2 years, we're on to the next one. Ask Will Levis. Will Levis is a good example of this. Malik Willis, he might get a contract this year. He was not given a fair shot at all either. So that is the situation that the quarterback position is in. And hopefully, that's why I'm rooting for Darnold, part of that, for the storyline of the NFL, macro level. But I'm also rooting for it because I think he's a great story. I think he has crawled his way out of this hole that he has found himself in, getting drafted to the Jets and then put on the Panthers, 2 of the worst franchises in the league. And now he has found himself into a excellent position. Good contract, good team, great coach, going to be there for a while. So good for Darnold, and hopefully this will be good for the entire league as a whole. Kate Chums and Colin Russo. We look ahead to Super Bowl 60 at 6:30 tonight on NBC. Let's get into a little bit of what we can expect from the game itself, what we have seen behind us. Let's go to our quick look ahead presented by Jay Zolo & Associates.
Time now for a quick look, presented by the QuickBooks Pro experts at Jay Zolo & Associates. Since 1997, Jay Zolo & Associates has been helping Palm Beach County businesses with their accounting and bookkeeping needs. From expert QuickBooks services to getting your business finances in order, their team has the knowledge and experience to help.
All right, your quick look presented by Jay Zolo & Associates, your leading certified QuickBooks Pro advisor firm. All right, if you're a blank slate football fan, you're going to watch the game tonight, one of the 110 million people that will tune in. You don't really know anything about these teams. Here is what you need to know. All right, Seattle Seahawks, we will start with them. We just talked about them. A good story around the NFL. It's been a team that has a second year, a new head coach, as somebody who has seen a lot of success early on. He's a defensive-minded guy, and a quarterback who is a big story because he has not had a lot of success in his other spots. He was great last year for a different team, for the Minnesota Vikings, and he played great, and they ended up letting him walk out the door and signing with the Seattle Seahawks because they had a young quarterback waiting in the wings. So Sam Darnold on his 5th NFL team is looking to make a little bit of history here and win Super Bowl 60. As for the New England Patriots on the other side of things, the Patriots, no, it's not the Tom Brady, Bill Belichick Patriots. It is the Mike Vrabel, Drake May Patriots. It is a team that won 4 games last year. They spent a whole lot of money in free agency. They made a couple acquisitions that have really helped the team. Drake May took a big a year 2 leap into his NFL career after being the 3rd overall pick 2 years ago in the 2024 NFL draft. And he looks, after finishing 2nd in MVP voting a couple days ago, he looks to jump on, splash onto the scene, and become the youngest quarterback to win a Super Bowl. The only other guy who's been there year 2 who lost is Dan Marino. So you got to be wonder, Drake May, this might be your only shot. Dan Marino never really got another opportunity. So you got to think, like Dan Campbell said, this might have been our only shot. Patriots are underdogs in this matchup, about 4.5-point underdogs. They've had an easier road to the postseason. They've played 3 games, but these 3 games have been against 3 inferior teams comparatively to who the Seattle Seahawks had to beat, where they beat the San Francisco 49ers and the Los Angeles Rams, 2 divisional opponents that they played for the 3rd time in the postseason. Game's going to be at 6:30. The game's going to be on NBC with Mike Tirico and Chris Collinsworth on the call. And it should be a game of who's going to make the least amount of mistakes. I think that is the key. Who's going to turn the ball over the lowest amount comparatively between the two. You protect the football, I think you'll be in the game, and I say that for both teams. That was your quick look ahead into Super Bowl 60, presented by Jay Zolo and Associates. We'll get into some of our keys of the game. What do the Patriots need to do? Because I think everybody's counting them out. What do they need to do to win the game? We'll get into that, get into a lot more. It is Sunday Huddle, presented by Hard Rock Bet on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
Football's biggest game is here, so make sure the only heat is on the field. Keep your home in the win column with EDS Air Conditioning. Right now, qualified customers can get 0% interest for 60 months on a brand new AC. Hot streaks belong in the postseason, not in your living room. With over 800 Google reviews and a 4.8 star rating, EDS has been the trusted MVP since 2006. Visit EDSIsYes.com today and schedule your service now. Stay cool for the biggest game of the year.
At St. Lucie Battery and Tire, batteries came before tires. We've been selling and servicing all types of batteries for over 50 years. So when you need a battery for nearly anything, we have it, as well as the fast professional installation you need. We carry premium batteries for all your needs: automotive, commercial, marine, RV, and specialty. We also offer delivery and on-site installation, serving our customers quality products for over 50 years in the home of honest, reliable service. Go to slbt.com and book your next appointment.
Mike Russo here. Moving soon? Trust the pros who move the pros. Call Good Greek for your total relocation solution. From packing and storage to local and long distance moves, Spiro and his team at Good Greek Moving and Storage have you covered. They've been trusted by families, businesses, and they're now the official movers of the UFC. Call the world's only total relocation company.
Good Greek Moving and Storage. Your superhero movers.
Ready to take on any terrain? The all-new 2026 Defender 110 P300S is here. Built for those who crave adventure without compromising on luxury. Lease the powerful 2026 Defender 110 P300S for just $899 per month for 36 months. Whether you're tackling the toughest roads or cruising the city, the Defender is ready for it all. Don't wait. Visit Land Rover Palm Beach today and experience the Defender like never before. Terms and conditions apply. See dealer for details.
Love is in the air this Valentine's Day, and this gift lasts longer than roses. A free water test from Culligan. Culligan's advanced filtration and softening systems reduce harsh chemicals, giving you cleaner, safer, better tasting water. Give your home some love. Schedule your free water test at Culligan.com. Serving all of South Florida. Culligan Water. Water you love.
Hey, Culligan man.
Want to accelerate your career as a manager or executive in the exciting industry of sports? Florida Atlantic University's MBA in Sport Management program is ranked #1 in Florida and 10th in the world. Students learn practical and applied skills from top faculty and experts who work in the industry. With a 94% placement rate for all grads, the full-time MBA program sets students up for success in the world of sports. Check out Florida Atlantic University's MBA in Sport Management program today by going to business.fau.edu.
Hi, this is Evan Cohen here with a special message for the ESPN 106.3 streaming audience. If you're not listening to our stream right now, just cover your ears for a second. This won't take long. Thanks to a recent software upgrade, ESPN 106.3 now streams in stereo. Isn't that amazing? ESPN 106.3 in stereo, left channel, right channel, delay, echo. Wow. All made possible by modern technology at ESPN 106.3. Thank you, scientists. ESPN 1063, streaming now in stereo.
Business owners, are your employees driving you nuts? Is money tight? Or have you just poured your heart and soul into your business and now it's time to retire and just relax? At Transworld Business Advisors, they have buyers from all over the world ready to buy your business now. Call for a confidential conversation about your business's current value. 561-203-5121. That's 561-203-5121 or visit tworld.com today.
Punch right Zach, 15 tip scissors, can it to 300 jet F stick. X has got a quick high corner. Be ready to keep attacking.
This is Sunday Huddle with Colin Russo, presented by Hard Rock Bet.
Well, you've been paying attention to Waste Management, the Phoenix Open, over the weekend, where Scotty Scheffler's waiting in the wings. And everybody kind of knows he's lingering, despite being a couple of strokes back. That infamous 16th hole in Phoenix, where all that hole is a hoot. I'll tell you that. Brooks Koepka didn't even make the cut. So not a great tournament from him, but you're going to see all that throughout. You saw all that throughout the weekend. Been a lot of fun. Over there in Phoenix. Looks like great weather. But then you see them over the weekend. All right. We see them on the course, but now you can see them in the arena in prime time. That's where TGL comes in. Season 2 of TGL, presented by SoFi, is back with big moments, big personalities, nonstop action on the big screen. That is shot clocks, hammer drops, timeouts, and overtime. City versus city, squad versus squad. Tickets are on sale now, but availability is limited. Visit TGLGolf.com to get your tickets while they last. TGL, presented by SoFi. Keep up. It is golf. Super Bowl 60, 6:30 tonight on NBC. Pats, Seahawks should be a lot of fun. Now, you said you think you think the Seahawks are going to win. That's number one. I agree with you. And now let's flip. If the Patriots were to win this game, Cade Thompson, what do they need to do?
They got to run the ball. This cannot, as much as we've been talking about Drake May, this is not a game that Drake May can play Superman for. You have an elite duo running back system with Travion Henderson and Ramondre Stevenson, which we really haven't seen this postseason. When you saw that offense cooking the latter half of the Patriots season, it's because they were able to utilize both in an effective way. You think back to all of those massive breakout 50-yard touchdowns by Travion.
Yep.
Ramondre Stevenson can get you a first down on 3rd and short. This is a game with how weak I expect the Patriots offensive line to look against that unbelievable front four of the Seahawks. That running back duo needs to be effective. Play action pass needs to come into effect to give Drake May more time. If Drake May has to throw the ball 40 plus times, I don't think the Patriots have a shot.
So the more he throws, the more in harm's way the ball's going to be, the more in harm's way he's going to be.
100%.
I tend to agree. I do think that they are at their best when they can open up that deep ball. And everybody in the building knows they're going to look for it because that's what Drake May is great at. If there's anything he is excellent at, it is pinpointing deep ball down the sideline. He even did it against Derek Stingley, Cade Shumslin's Houston Texans. That was how they beat them, essentially.
Yep.
And they're going to look for that throughout the game. And another point to that is the Seattle Seahawks have a great secondary. So they have a lot of good man-on-man receivers, corners, I should say. But the way I look at this is if I am the Patriots, it is the utmost of importance to not turn the ball over. And I also think it's important to strike first. I think you're going in as an underdog. Underdogs, you don't want to be an underdog that fights from behind the entire way. You do not want to be that type of underdog. You want to be the underdog that punches the favorite in the mouth in the first drive of the game. If the Patriots are somehow, some way, good kick return, busted play, pass interference, something that gets them 3 points on the board early. The key to this game, and I know the Rams tried to do the same, and that was our game plan against when the Rams were playing the Seahawks in the NFC Championship game. Give the Seahawks something to be nervous about. Coming in as a favorite is weird, and coming in as a heavy favorite especially is very weird for a team that's not used to it. So I do think if you're the Patriots, run the ball, obviously have balance within your offense, protect May. That was a major problem in the games that we saw. Will Campbell at left tackle has been a nightmare. for the Patriots. And the more that Drake May stays off of the ground, the better off they will be. But if Seattle can get to the quarterback and shut down drives before they even start, and then if Seattle strike, they've been great at striking first too. Seattle went right down the field against the Rams after the Rams got the ball first. In the 49er game, they had the kick return. Like they strike first. They like playing from ahead. If you're able to flip that script a little bit and put a little pressure on them early, I think they'll let everybody tighten up. It is the Super Bowl at the end of the day with two inexperienced teams. The more you keep this game in the sense of play into the nerves of the opposition, the better off the underdog has. So striking first, running the football, and protecting the ball and the quarterback. You do that, I actually think you'll be competitive in the game. I'm under the impression a lot of people are under, I guess, some belief that the Patriots are going to come in and get throttled. I hope not, number one. But two, I don't think that's going to happen because I think the Patriots and Vrabel and that whole staff has seen all week in Santa Clara, basically everybody count them out in favor of Seattle. The easy path. They haven't played anybody. Easiest schedule since 1999 in the regular season. Young quarterback. The Seahawks, this is Darnold's turn. Seems like every player wants Darnold to win. That should be an ultimate chip on your shoulder, number one. But number two, playing with house money and being that ultimate underdog, I think is what the Patriots want. So I actually am under the impression that the Patriots are not only going to play with nothing to lose, but they're going to play a really clean football game. I think it will be low scoring. I think this game will be reliant on who makes that crucial turnover, similar to that Denver game. But I do think the Patriots will be competitive. I do. I don't think it's fair to count them out. And I don't think we're going to get two blowout Super Bowls in a row. I don't. Especially after the Patriots, or what last year, that Chiefs one sort of came by surprise. You rarely get two blowouts in a row. Not only would I be disappointed, but for some reason, I feel like the Patriots got nothing to lose. Weirdly enough. Say that in the Super Bowl, they got nothing to lose. They got everything to gain here. They have already overachieved. The Seahawks, you look at the Seahawks and think, boy, this is it. This is your chance, right? So in that tough conference, you're already here. Got to take advantage. You get more of the impression that the Patriots are not going anywhere from this season. So I think there is a two different yin and yang, a left and right, with the outlooks of these teams that I think give the Seahawks a little bit more pressure. So I don't know if the pressure will get to them, but Kate, are you under the impression that the Patriots will come up and compete today, or is this going to be a throttling?
I can see both. Expectation is that they will compete.
Your expectation is this will be a competitive football game.
For sure.
One possession game in the fourth quarter.
No. This is how I see it happening. Seahawks have a 3-point lead after the first, a 7-point lead after the second, a 10-point lead after the third, and they kind of control the fourth quarter. They will be competitive for 3 quarters. I don't think the fourth quarter, maybe they get within a one-score game, but I see this as a double-digit win by Seattle. Whether that is a gimme field goal at the end of the game or it's multiple scores and New England tries to strike back, this will be one of those steady growth kind of games where Seattle has the lead.
So no lead changes. You don't see a lot of that.
Unless I do see New England maybe getting a field goal at the beginning of the game and then Seattle striking back with a touchdown. But after the first quarter, I don't think New England gets the lead. I think now I can also see a blowout. I can also see New England making this a close game at the end. I can see, like I said at the first segment of the show, I have the spectrum view of what this game could go. But down the middle, my expectation, Seattle gets a lead in the fourth quarter, and they slowly but surely build it throughout the rest of the game.
Yeah, I totally make sense in the sense that you don't really trust that Patriot offense to put a lot of pressure on Seattle. Patriot offense hasn't done much of anything throughout the postseason. They really haven't. Outside of a couple drives that you could just call out right here, right now. You could call out that drive, that excellent touchdown drive to respond to the Houston Texans' second straight field goal drive to make it 21-16 in the second half of that divisional game. That was an excellent drive. And that first drive of the second half against the Denver Broncos before that tundra started to get a field goal, 16 plays, and got a field goal and took that lead, 10-7 ball game. That was the end of the game. So outside of that, there haven't really been a lot of great touchdown drives, grind it out that the Patriots have shown. It has been relying on the defense and relying on turnovers of the opposing side. That has been their sort of mantra the entire postseason. They waited on Jared Stidham to make a couple of mistakes. They waited on Justin Herbert to make a couple of mistakes. And CJ Stroud made more than a couple of mistakes. So I don't know if I trust that offense to put enough pressure on that Seattle defense. But the one thing about it is that Seattle defense is great. Maybe they're only not great against McVay because McVay's been the only one to really put production on them. But maybe he showed them something. Maybe he showed the Patriots something about how to attack this defense because every time the Rams go out there against that Seahawks defense, the offense was fine. The offense was more than fine. The offense, up and down the field. Couldn't get a stop. And against everybody else, that Seattle defense is killing everybody. So I don't know if it's just a McVay thing. Maybe it is. If I'm the Patriots, I am studying that. How do you attack this defense? Because maybe you need a Matthew Stafford, and May is not a Stafford. But if you could take something off of that in learning how to attack this defense, great. I don't know if they have the firepower for it. I don't know if they have the playmakers for it. The Rams definitely do. But if that offense can show you a little guts, show you a little creativity, then you have a little bit more confidence in them hanging around. But you're right. In a drive for drive, if Seattle starts scoring, this is not going to be a game.
You, as the Patriots, you need to make this a marathon, not a sprint.
Yeah. If the second Seattle starts scoring, and especially scoring in bunches, it's going to be over quick.
Yep.
Because
I agree.
The Patriots are not coming back down from 10. They're not coming back down from 17. They're not coming back down from 14. And I'd even make the argument, I don't think they'd go drive for drive with them. If it's 17-13, then it's 20-17, and then it's 24-20. And I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think it's going to be one of those games. We saw a lot of those games in the wild card round. I am not under the impression that the Patriots are going to want or even would like to play in a game in which you have to score. And if you don't score, you feel like you're falling behind.
As much as Seattle's defense has been a huge headline for them, New England wants it to be a defensive game. They don't want to shoot out.
Absolutely. And New England's got good special teams too, but Seattle's got great special teams. I think that's been part of Seattle's game plan, is create something in special teams. Rashid Shaheed, the drop punt return, the kickoffs. They got a good kicker. Excellent special teams franchise and team. Always has been. But we'll see what happens because you get Super Bowl 60, and we got you up until 12. We'll get into a couple prop bets. Our miscellaneous prop bets next.
Ooh.
Hard Rock Bet has a special subcategory on the app where you could bet quite specific things. We're going to get into that on the other side of things. It is Kate Chumsden, Colin Russo, Sunday Huddle, presented by Hard Rock Bet on ESPN 106.3.
Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
The James Hardy Pro Football Hall of Fame Invitational returns March 6th through the 8th at the iconic Old Course at Broken Sound in Boca Raton. Watch NFL greats like Calvin Johnson, Lawrence Taylor, and returning champion Tim Brown compete with PGA Champions Tour stars including Ernie Els, Darren Clark, and two-time major champion Zach Johnson, who's making his PGA Champions Tour debut. Tickets start at just $36. Get yours now at JamesHardyInvitational.com. This is more than a tournament, it's the home of legends.
Hi, it's Evan Cohen from Unsportsmanlike, and Super Bowl Sunday is here. Pre-game coverage starts at noon. Then Super Bowl 60 kicks off at 6:30. No switching apps, no missing moments. One place all day. That's how we do Super Bowl Sunday on ESPN 106.3.
Hi, this is Scott Smith of Smith Ball, Baez, and Prather, Florida Injury Lawyers. I have said it many times before, and I will continue to say it for many years to come. There is never a good time for a car accident to occur, and most certainly never ever a good time to suffer injuries in any type of an accident. The accident and its overall aftermath will usually cause pain, difficulty, and stress. Florida law allows accident victims to recover compensation for such losses, injuries, and damages. But such recovery is often not obtained easily and can require a lengthy fight with an insurance company. If you've been injured in an accident, call us now. Don't delay. The initial consultation is completely free of charge. The sooner you call us, the sooner we can put our experienced legal team to work for you. Don't hesitate or pause for another minute. Our experience, knowledge, and resources could be working for you just minutes after the call. If you've been injured, the lawyers at Smith, Ball, Baez, and Prather will help. Call us at 500-HELP, 500-HELP. With Smith, Ball, Baez, and Prather, help is just a phone call away. Offices Palm Beach Gardens, Boca Raton, and Port St. Lucie.
Today's tax tip is brought to you by Anshin Accountants and Advisors with Brent Lessie, partner and tax leader of Anshin's Consumer Products Group.
Did you know the One Big Beautiful Bill Act has created unprecedented opportunities for founders? The $10 million exclusion has increased to $15 million, and the 5-year holding period is no longer an all-or-nothing hurdle. Founders now have the flexibility to raise capital and align their tax-free treatment over 3, 4, or 5 years. These changes include the higher asset ceiling and allow founders and investors to scale aggressively while capitalizing on this tax advantage. Anshin, a partner-owned firm since 1923, prioritizes understanding founders' unique circumstances to achieve their goals. If you're a founder that doesn't want to leave money on the table, let Anshin deliver value where others can't.
For more tax tips from Anshin, visit Anshin.com. That's ANCHIN.com. Anshin Accountants and Advisors, helping you recalculate what's possible.
Playing hockey is dangerous. Be safe. Listen to it on the radio instead. The Florida Panthers are on ESPN 106.3.
What would you do with an extra $700? You can earn up to $700 per year with Boost Checking from Flagler Credit Union. Boost Checking pays 7.0 annual percentage yield on balances up to $10,000. That's up to $700 extra to do what you love. Boost Checking from Flagler Credit Union. Requirements apply to earn the highest dividend rates. Limit one checking account per membership. Dividend rates and annual percentage yield subject to change. Business accounts do not qualify. Insured by NCUA, official credit union of Florida Atlantic Athletics.
631 smash, F-Track sneak on one alert. The smash on one. Ready?
This is Sunday Huddle with Colin Russo, presented by Hard Rock Bet.
Sunday Huddle, presented by Hard Rock Bet on ESPN 106.3 with Colin Russo and Cade Chumsden. We're at the City Play Studios in downtown West Palm Beach. It is a beautiful Sunday morning here in South Florida. Nice and cool, nice and breezy. Get nice and hot later in the day, up till 70. It's the perfect type of weather in South Florida where it's like in the 50s when you wake up, and then throughout the day it gets up into the mid-70s, sunny, nice and comfortable. Then it gets back down nice and cool towards the end. It's a little bit like desert weather. It doesn't feel like the humid heat that we are used to in the Palm Beach County area. The 8th of February, 2026, Super Bowl Sunday. You get Seahawks Patriots tonight, 6:30 on NBC. And if you go to the Hard Rock Bet app and you go to the NFL tab as a league, and you could bet just about anything in this game. You could bet the game, player props, all that stuff. You could do squares. But one thing that Cade and I are going to keep our eye on is something called novelty specials. And I would say there's about 12 to 15 different categories here. And I think we're going to have some fun with it. Let's blitz the book with Hard Rock Bet on ESPN 106.3. Alrighty. Hard Rock Bet, blitz the book on ESPN 106.3. Here's how we're going to do this. We go to the novelty specials on the NFL tab in the Hard Rock Bet app. I'll just name a couple and give you the idea. Coin toss result, Gatorade color, octopus, whether one singular player scores a touchdown and then gets the ensuing 2-point conversion. Yes, that is a football term. Fourth down conversions, touchdown specials as in the length of the shortest touchdown. The last snap of the game being a QB rush attempt. Is the score going to be tied again after 0-0? Florida Man special, which is, I had to read this one. At least one of Elijah Arroyo, Leonard Williams, or Dearness Johnson to score touchdown, plus 850. How about that? That's the Florida Man
Florida
special.
Boys.
Jersey number, the first touchdown scorer, fastest ball carrier, etc. So you get all this on the Hard Rock Bet app. All right, kid, how are we going to do this? You want to bet them all?
Just go through the list. Yeah.
You want to bet them all?
Yeah, let's do it. Come on.
Can we parlay these together? You sure can. Wow. How about that? You can parlay these together as well. All right. Coin toss result, minus 105 apiece. Are you big on this?
I'm huge on this.
All right. Well, okay. Do you stick to one? Do you stick to a gun and that's it?
No, absolutely not. What I'm feeling right now is tails. So let's do tails. I'm huge on it because I love the bet. I'm not huge on it because I'm going to overanalyze a 50-50. Give me tails.
Okay. I have no problem with that. Now, here's another one. Gatorade color. Have you ever lived, if you haven't heard from somebody who knows a guy who knows a guy who knows a guy who's involved in the equipment staff of the Seattle Seahawks, and he's, whispering to you that it's a purple Gatorade for the day? Hey, you haven't lived until you've had that experience. And that's happened to me for a number of Super Bowls. And I think 4 for 4, they're all wrong. So it's just one of those situations, a telephone. Now, this year, I have not heard from a guy who knows a guy who knows a guy who knows a guy who knows the Seahawks equipment manager staff. Color of Gatorade. Orange is the favorite, plus 210. Purple is plus 250. Yellow, green, and lime, plus 275. And blue is plus 400. Red and pink is plus 300. And clear / water is plus 1,000.
I need to know how they got these odds. This is unbelievable.
I'm surprised by the red.
Me too. I was surprised by that too.
Yeah, well, red's not that popular amongst NFL teams, I don't believe.
Is red? I'm wondering why. Is it just why are you not seeing red more on the sidelines? I don't know.
All right, let's do Super Bowl Gatorade color history. Let's go. I'm looking at this right now. Let's see what this has. All right, the Eagles did yellow. The Chiefs both times did purple. Then the Rams did blue. The Buccaneers did blue. The Chiefs did orange. Patriots did blue. The Eagles did yellow.
Jeez. Does it go back to the last Seahawks?
It's going to be a different equipment staff, but
I agree.
I do not have that one here. I only have back until the New England Patriots. And the Patriots are, again, this is the Belichick days. This is a different staff.
Correct.
But it's blue. I don't like that at all. So we're making a guess on what we think Seattle's going to do here.
I want either yellow, green, lime, or blue. I don't think you touch purple. Those odds are just not as good. I'm leaning here yellow, lime, green, plus 275.
Yeah, I feel like you got to lean towards one of the favorites because the other one's just to take your money. They're not going to allow a plus 1,300 to win. Hard Rock knows what's going on here. They know that they know somebody who knows a guy who knows a guy who knows a guy who's involved in the Gatorade coloring of the Seattle Seahawks.
To be fair, you did not say red on that list. So
red is on this list, plus 1,300.
No, I said the history.
No red.
So
red.
They're also looking at that too. Apparently, red's just not a thing right now.
I'm okay with yellow.
Yeah.
All right.
Because do I take team colors into account?
No. Because the Eagles do yellow.
Okay.
I don't think there's any.
It seems on brand for a Seahawks neon.
The way I look at it is
I
think just an NFL team gets a random 100-pound bag of Gatorade flavoring for the year, and that's just what they got, and that's what they use, and maybe they get different ones for the Super Bowl, but
I like lime green.
What about blue?
That's the other one. I could go there too.
Let's go the odds. Let's just go the odds.
Just go plus 400 then?
Plus 400 on the odds.
I can
and you want to go team color, there's your team color.
Also true. Yeah, that's why I was debating between the two. All right,
octopus. Will there be an octopus, a touchdown in the ensuing 2-point conversion by the same player? I have absolutely no interest in this. Plus 1,400 is good odds, but geez, that is not something to root for.
I don't think there'll be a single 2-point conversion attempt.
That's not something to root for. That's not something fun to root for.
Okay.
4th down conversions, over or under 2.5.
Ooh.
Conversions. This is not attempted. This is
correct. I like the under.
The under is the favorite, minus 210.
I don't see. You can see New England going for a lot at the end of the game.
I think this would be a game where teams take their points. I agree with you on that. Because I think two defensive coaches are not going to get arrogant like we've seen from those phony offensive coaches throughout the entire postseason where they want to go for it on 4th down every 5 seconds.
The only way I can see this working is that New England is in the 4th quarter and they're going for every 4th down they've got.
Just 4th and shorts, 4th and ones. You going for 4th and ones, we're in a lot of trouble. If there's a lot of 4th and ones, there's going to be a number of conversions. But if there isn't a lot of 4th and ones, then you'll be all right. That's what you're rooting for.
Yeah.
Even 4th and ones in red zone, teams are going for it. Even though they shouldn't, they're going for it.
Yeah, my initial reaction is under.
All right,
the odds are really good, though, if you go for the over.
Yeah, do you want to just root for it? This has been the theme of the postseason, the one thing I'd add to this. The theme of the postseason has been teams going for it on 4th down. Whether it's
missing
and it burning them. But remember, the Patriots went for it on 4th down with the May QB dive on that after the Jarrett Stidham or fumble, I should say. Seattle's not afraid to go for it on 4th down either. I just think you play the odds game.
You kind of have to. I mean, if this was 3.5.
Granted, it's a parlay, so what difference does it make? Minus 210 into your parlay?
Also fair.
What does your gut tell you? You want to root against 2-point conversions? I want to root against 2-point. I want to root for them failing. That's what I want to root for.
Yeah.
You okay with that?
Yeah.
All right, so let's do under.
I also want to cheer for field goals instead of missed fourth quarters.
Ethical football.
For sure. All right, we're going to take the under.
Like it. Length of shortest touchdown is 1.5, and length of longest touchdown is 36.5.
This is the easy. Okay, the odds, by the way, the under 1.5, which means the only way you're getting that is a QB sneak or a goal line touchdown, is minus 135. The over at over 1.5 yards is plus 105. That's the easiest over I've ever seen.
I don't think it's the easiest over I've ever seen, but I have no problem playing the odds there. The plus 105.
For the odds. If you're in plus odds to bank on a non-goal
you get
line
two
touchdown,
good defensive lines, which you don't like, and two teams that are going to run the ball and play safe in the red zone. They don't love. But I understand. I do. You're rooting against 1 yard line.
I wonder how many goal line touchdowns there have been this postseason.
A number of them. A lot of them.
I think getting plus odds on banking against a goal line touchdown is worth it for me.
All right, no problem. What about the longest touchdown? You had on this. They're both minus 115. The number's 36.5.
I don't see 36.5. I can see easily 35 or 30. I don't think we get a 40-yard bomb of a touchdown.
Yeah, okay. Then you want to take the under, or do you want to not touch it?
I would take the under. Yeah, I would take the under.
Fair enough.
I don't think we're getting a bomb of a touchdown today.
Last snap of the game to be a quarterback rush attempt.
Yeah, that's a yes.
You think somebody will be in victory formation?
I think somebody will be in victory formation tonight.
All right. Score to be tied again after 0-0. I like yes.
I'm okay with yes in this one.
I like yes. Teams are going to feel each other out, and if one team takes a field goal the first drive, the other team's going to take a field goal the next drive.
I don't mind a no. Now, I can see no, but I don't mind taking the yes on this one.
At least one. Now, how about this? The Florida Man Special, which is hard rock through and through. At least one of Elijah Arroyo, Leonard Williams, or Deonis Johnson has scored a touchdown. I do not want to touch this. No offense.
Me neither.
No offense to our Florida
holy
guys.
Smokes,
no offense to our Florida guys. Plus 850. No way I'm touching this.
It's fun, though. I like that it's an option, though. That is cool.
Jersey number, the first touchdown score is over under 10.5.
This is the one I've been most excited for this entire time. I am fascinated by this line. It's over under 10.5. Now, let me give you some players here. JSN at 11.
Yep.
Drake May at 10.
Kenneth Walker's 9.
Kenneth Walker at 9. Stephon Diggs is 8. Booty is 7 or
Henderson's
9.
32.
Henderson. So both running backs for New England are 35, 32, something like that. And then you've got Sam Darnold, who's 14, but Cooper Kupp is 10. So
what's AJ Barner? You have that?
Give me one
is
second.
he 14? I think AJ Barner is 14. AJ Barner.
Trying to find it right now on
He
the
is
roster.
88.
Yeah. Okay. And then Mac Hollins, I believe, is also high. He's in the.
I think he's 11. Or is he 80?
Wow, I just lost.
Oh, he's
him.
13.
13. Yeah, he's higher than that too. So it's a great split. That's what I'm saying. The line is unbelievable. You're banking a lot on JSN.
I like AJ Barner. Really? AJ Barner. That's my first touchdown score of the day.
So you'd want the over here, right? You said he was 14?
I would want the over here.
You'd want the over here? You got JSN.
What is Rashid Shaheed? He's 22.
Yep. But I don't see him getting one. You're banking here on... Okay, so let's ask a different question real quick. Which team gets the first touchdown?
I'm going to root.
Because I think Seattle gets the first touchdown.
Yeah, you're probably right.
So that's...
I think the Patriots will score first in terms of a field goal, but
so now we're here with JSN, Cooper Kupp, Kenneth Walker, and then you also had one of their tight ends.
AJ Barner.
Oh, that's right. Okay. You know what? Between him and JSN and Sam Darnold himself. Wait, what's Barner again? What'd you say?
88.
88, that's right. I'll take the over.
No
I'm
problem
cool with that.
Fastest ball carrier. This doesn't have a number to it. It just has a player. Rashid Shaheed, Jackson Smith-Njigba, and Kenneth Walker are the top two. Shaheed is plus 120. Jackson Smith-Njigba is plus 275. Kenneth Walker is plus 500.
Drake May is on this list. That's incredible. Okay, so who gets the ball in space today? Because that's going to determine who gets the...
What about Travion Henderson at plus 800? That's probably your best value pick.
That's exactly where I was going to go with
That's
this.
your best. That's plus 800. That's your best value. All you need him to break loose for a 35-yarder. You don't even need a touchdown. Can you get one good run on the day or even on a swing pass? That's your best value pick.
I mean, Rashid Shaheed, you're banking on him getting a decent return. But as far as value for a player on offense who can break open in space and who is given the ball in order to break open in space, I love Henderson at plus 800.
Yeah, good odds. You got to play the odds game there. Kayshon Boutte, Mac Hollins, absolutely not. Cooper Kupp, absolutely not. Yeah, no chance. I like Henderson here. I don't hate that at all. He's a fast dude. No problems there. All right, so to put a cap on it, here are the picks that we made. For the coin toss, there's no halftime show there. That might be on a different one.
Yeah. No, I mean, but what would you...
I don't know. I never bet the halftime show.
I wouldn't either.
I have no... who knows? I have no idea. And and don't tell me that they don't understand what the number is, because they know. Isn't Bad Bunny in that production staff? We took tails to win the coin toss. We took blue to be the color of the Gatorade poured on the winning head coach, plus 400. We took under 2.5 total fourth down conversions in the game. That is minus 210. We took over 1.5 yards as the length of the shortest touchdown. That is plus 105. Over 1.5 yards. So no 1-yard touchdowns for us today. And we took under 36.5 yards in the length of the longest touchdown. The last snap of the game needs to be a quarterback rush attempt according to our bet, minus 195. So we need a victory formation. Score to be tied again after 0-0. We said yes, minus 125. Over 10.5 is the jersey number of the first touchdown scorer. AJ Bonner, Jackson Smith-Njigba, Sam Darnold, Rashid Shaheed, if you're listening, here we go. Travion Henderson also to be our fastest ball carrier. That is our best odds of the entire thing, plus 800. Those are your novelty picks in the Hard Rock Bet app.
That was fun. I love these.
Go download the Hard Rock Bet app, and you can make these picks yourself in anticipation of the big game. That was Blitz the Book with Hard Rock Bet. All right, that puts a cap on the actual miscellaneous picks. KD, get into the halftime show.
Depends on who it is.
When you get into this halftime show,
I will listen to it because I can't name a single Bad Bunny song off the top of my head, but I feel like I've heard one on the radio before.
Okay.
And so I'll listen to it. I also, coming from a production broadcasting background, I'm curious to see how it is portrayed, because there's some artists that I've loved the artist, but I've hated actually how they did their halftime show. And there's some where I wasn't really interested in the artist, but what they put on the field was spectacular. So I'll watch it, not necessarily from a musical perspective, but from a fantastic perspective of the fanatics with it.
Yeah, I've never been I have seen a lot of people complain about this. I don't know what you people are doing. I've never been one to criticize who is on the halftime show. The fact that it's Bad Bunny makes no difference in my life. I will watch it like I watch every halftime show, and I'll, objectively, if I enjoyed it, hey, it's pretty good. Like, I'm weird about which halftime shows I enjoyed. The Kendrick Lamar one last year I didn't think was very good at all. But the Usher one the year before that, I thought Usher was awesome. I thought he was great. I don't know. The Weeknd I didn't think was any good. Anytime Bruno Mars is on stage, I'm locked in. I think that guy is a stud. The Coldplay hymn, Bruno Mars and Beyonce, that was the last one in San Francisco. That was an awesome one. I thought Justin Timberlake a couple of years ago, not the Janet Jackson year, the one 2017-18 when it was just Justin Timberlake, I thought that was really good. Katy Perry, whatever.
That's the one I actually really enjoyed.
Yeah, it's famous. It's got the shark. It's got she
was like riding a lion. That's another one where like the production.
Yeah, it was performative. Really cool. I like that. And there's a performance attached to it. It's theatric. What are the other ones?
I can tell you ones that I've
the Snoop Dogg Eminem one, I didn't think was any good at all. I think rap generally is just not very good to do in a live concert setting in a giant stadium. I just don't think it carries well. So that's why part of the reason why I didn't like the Eminem or Kendrick Lamar one. I just don't think rap does that well in a concert setting. But when you have like R&B and you can like move your shoulders to it, that's why Usher was great. Usher, that guy can perform. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. Like, I am in. That's why I haven't. If anything, I don't know. I know Bad Bunny's. I know the jingles. I know what the beats sound like. I don't understand Spanish that well. But if he's, you're bobbing your head, I'm in. You got me. Like, not a hard sell with this stuff, right? Black Eyed Peas. I watched that about a week ago.
Yep.
That's always fun because I think the Black Eyed Peas. The thing is, they didn't do a lot of theatrics. They just kind of stood on stage and did it. But yeah, give them a chance. You're complaining about it. I'm going to turn up. What else are you going to watch? There's nothing else to watch. Turn it on. I'm turning off for the halftime show, please. What are you going to watch instead? There's nothing on. There's nothing on. K Chums and Colin Russo's Sunday Huddle, presented by Hard Rock Bet. We'll get back into the game, talk about where we're watching the game, how we're going to watch the game, some of our favorite Super Bowls and least favorite Super Bowls in recent history. It's all to come. Second hour of Sunday Huddle, presented by Hard Rock Bet on ESPN 106.3.
Spring training 2026 is coming fast to Roger Dean Chevrolet Stadium as the Miami Marlins and St. Louis Cardinals return to Jupiter for 30 games in 30 days from February 21st to March 22nd. Come out to the ballpark this spring and make a memory that lasts a lifetime. Season tickets, groups, and mini plans are on sale right now. Purchase your baseball experience at RogerDeanChevroletStadium.com. See you soon at America's busiest ballpark.
Want to accelerate your career as a manager or executive in the exciting industry of sports? Florida Atlantic University's MBA in Sport Management program is ranked #1 in Florida and 10th in the world. Students learn practical and applied skills from top faculty and experts who work in the industry. With a 94% placement rate for all grads, the full-time MBA program sets students up for success in the world of sports. Check out Florida Atlantic University's MBA in Sport Management program today by going to business.fau.edu.
Anajar and Levine.
Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
ESPN 1063.
WESP Jupiter, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
ESPN 1063 is your home for live sports, presented by Hard Rock Bet, the home of Inter Miami, the Florida Panthers, and the Miami Heat, with all of the biggest live events in sports. If it's happening in sports, it's happening right here on ESPN 1063. South Florida's home for sports, presented by Hard Rock Bet. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida, must be 21 plus, physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. If you or somebody you know has a gambling problem, please call 1-833-PLAY-WISE.
This Valentine's Day, give the one you love a gift with endless possibilities. Give a gift card to the Breakers Palm Beach. Breakers gift cards let you treat the one who matters most to the things they love the most, like irresistible oceanfront getaways, lessons at the Breakers' new golf and racket club, pampering at the exquisite spa, and shopping at the resort's stylish collection of on- and off-site boutiques. Gift cards may also be used for dining at the Breakers' renowned restaurants and bars, including Echo, Henry's Palm Beach, HMF, and Flagler's Steakhouse. What's even better, for a limited time, when you purchase a $500 gift card online at thebreakers.com, you'll receive an additional $50 on that card, compliments of the Breakers. This Valentine's Day, give the one you love a gift card to the Breakers Palm Beach and remind them why they fell in love with you in the first place. Visit thebreakers.com today.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you can choose the best coverage option for you. Because you know you. Like, you know you can't cook. You're not one of those people who say that they can, but when people come over for dinner, they find out the hard way, you can't. You can't even microwave popcorn, and that's literally just one button. Plus, measuring and patience are huge parts of cooking, and that's just not you. Only you know you. So get coverage options within your budget with Progressive's Name Your Price tool. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Pricing coverage match limited by state law.
It's tax time, y'all. If you want to file free, this next one's for you.
Now taxes is so free. Typical tax, free edition only. Roughly 37% of filings qualify. Simple form 1040 returns
sometimes that jam. Up next, commercials.
And to get TurboTax free edition, see if you qualify at turbotax.com/free. No schedules except for earned income tax credit, child tax credit, student loan interest, and Schedule 1A.
Football's biggest game is here, so make sure the only heat is on the field. Keep your home in the wind column with EDS Air Conditioning. Right now, qualified customers can get 0% interest for 60 months on a brand new AC. Hot streaks belong in the postseason, not in your living room. With over 800 Google reviews and a 4.8 star rating, EDS has been the trusted MVP since 2006. Visit EDSIsYes.com today and schedule your service now. Stay cool for the biggest game of the year.
Huddle up.
66 Hitchx Vegas Flare. I'm ready.
It's time to break down the boldest plays.
Let's go, baby. Boom.
Hardest hits. And the craziest stories from around the NFL.
Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Fire the cannons.
This is Sunday Huddle with Colin Russo, presented by Hard Rock Bet.
The second hour of Sunday Huddle on ESPN 106.3 with Colin Russo and Cade Shumsen. We are streaming live on YouTube at ESPN South Florida and Facebook and Twitter at ESPN West Palm. It is Super Bowl Sunday, Super Bowl 66:30 tonight on NBC in Santa Clara. It's going to be one of those rare Super Bowls where it's going to be really light outside, basically throughout the majority of that game, especially throughout the halftime show because it's going to be in Pacific time. So looking forward to that. Seahawks and Patriots, Drake May, Sam Darnold, Mike Vrabel, Mike McDonald, all that action. But first things first, if you've been in a car accident, truck accident, suffered a slip and fall, my friends Mark Anajar and Glenn Levine at Anajar and Levine Accident Centers, they like to fight for you. I know with Anajar and Levine, they got my back, and they can get yours too. All you got to do is call them. They don't even charge you unless you win. They work tirelessly to get you the maximum compensation that you deserve. They are the best around. They're the best in the business for a reason. Don't settle for just anybody. Go get the best. Go get Anajar and Levine. Take that one phone call. Take back control of your life. Don't wait. Call for the free consultation. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733. Take back control now with Anajar and Levine. All right, Cade, Super Bowl history a little bit. You and I are on the younger side, so we haven't seen dozens of Super Bowls. But in the ones that we have seen, in recent memory, which of ones pop to mind as some of your favorite Super Bowls you've ever watched?
Instantly, the first one would be Eagles, Patriots, Philly special, Nick Foles, final score 41-33. Tom Brady breaks the record for most passing yards in the Super Bowl. Nick Foles goes blow for blow with him. Coaching spectacularly from Doug Peterson. Defensive plays left and right as well. That was also a game, I believe. Was that the one that Tom Brady had the missed catch over his shoulder?
Yes, it
as
is.
well. Trying to do their own version of the Philly special, or was that the following year?
It's a good question.
One of those, it was either that or the Rams.
I actually think it was the Ram year.
Okay, that's probably true too. But just there were so many different fantastic stuff. That is one as well. That might have been the year with The Weeknd doing the halftime performance. But the one I remember about the halftime performance, it was in Minneapolis, and they did their tribute to Prince because he had just passed away. I thought that was ridiculously cool as well. So that's the first one that comes to mind for me. What about you, Colin?
A couple come to mind. That Patriots-Falcon game. See, it's always the Patriots. It's that Patriot-Falcon game I have fond memories of because I think it's like a where were you moment when all of a sudden they scored and all of a sudden it's an 18-point game. They got the ball back. Uh-oh, really? Julio Jones, the Julian Edelman catch on the bobble. That was an excellent all-time Super Bowl. Had a great time watching that. I think the Nick Foles one is a great shout too, just because how memorable it was. It was sort of like a backup quarterback, Brady losing once again. Everybody's just pounding the Patriots left and right. And it was the first Super Bowl that the Patriots had lost really since the Giants, so which is why it felt a little bigger. So that was an awesome one. I remember that Giants' second win against the Patriots quite well. That was in Indianapolis. That was an awesome one. That's one I remember fondly because all my extended family are Giant fans, and I was not rooting for the Giants in that game, but it was fun to see all the Patriot fans and the Giant fans butt heads. I was at a Super Bowl party for that one, and I don't go to a Super Bowl party every year, but that was a really great Super Bowl to, I guess, recollect on. And you know what? If we're talking about recent memory, I watched the Chiefs-Eagles. That's the first Super Bowl. The first one, 38-35, an excellent game where Hurts played a terrific game and the Chiefs won. I watched that in a bar in Florence, Italy at 1 in the morning. And it was 1 in the morning, and I got out of there at 5. Wow. And like all the Americans were there as well. It was like a thing. They knew the Americans wanted to watch the game, so they had it on, and it was a big thing.
Wow.
And I didn't have cable, so there's not a lot of options. So you need to go find someone that has the game. And I was able to find it. And because I was able to find the championship games the week before because I flew out after the divisional round. And I watched it in a bar with a bunch of Italians. And it was funny. All the Americans in the bar were just watching the game. And if there was an Italian there, he was there to pickpocket your phone because he had no interest in the game and he realized it was just a bunch of lackluster Americans just looking up at the screen, not paying attention. So some guy took everybody for a ride, or a couple guys, whatever it was, some syndicate. So a lot of people got their phones stolen that night. I was good because I'm zipper pocket whenever I'm a zipper pocket guy. And but that's a big memory for me because I was able to pay attention to the whole game and met some random guys from the Vanderbilt University, and we just watched the game. That was it. And me and my roommates in Florence, who I'd known for like 2 weeks, when I was studying abroad, we watched that Eagle-Chief game in that spot. That was an awesome one, too. It was a great game. That was a very underrated game.
I have a lot of fond memories of that one, too. One, just it being so back and forth.
Yes.
Just blow for blow. Would the Eagles be able to keep up with KC's offense? They did. They had the lead. They had a 10-point lead, I believe.
Yeah, and Hurts showed a lot of guts that game.
Hurts played well. That was the game I believe Isaiah Pacheco had a touchdown. So the run game for KC was where it was everything, all cylinders when it came offensively. But that was also the night, just you talked about a moment outside of the game. That was the night my future wife met my dad. So that was
for the first time.
For the first time.
Wow.
And it worked out great because it's funny because on Theoretically Speaking, which you can listen from 2 to 4 right here on ESPN 106.3 on the weekdays, Christian Cat, producer, on Friday, last week, they did their Super Bowl party do's and don'ts. And one of his don'ts was don't bring your significant other for the first time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like he literally just says that on air. He's like, I don't want to be distracted by your significant other. And the way it worked for me, though,
I feel like that's a good way to do it. You get something.
I think it's fine too. I disagree with the take.
Sit down and watch the game. Like we're not here to
Mine was even better because it was the same night of the Super Bowl was her sister's birthday, so she was at a birthday party until late fourth quarter.
Ooh.
And then she comes in like as the clock hits 0. This was after.
Oh, she missed the whole game.
She did, but. That's what made it easy on us because all of us are locked into this game, this unbelievable back and forth battle. She comes in, she grabs some dessert, she meets the folks, and then we get to leave together. And it all kind of fell into place really nicely because we had just started dating, I believe like for 4 days or something like that. It was,
oh my gosh.
I asked her out to be like my Valentine or something like that, like a few days before. And so it all fell into place on being able to have like a soft introduction during an amazing Super Bowl.
And I
love that night too.
And you have a big Super Bowl party every year that you go to.
I do. Yep. It's been the tradition now. I just got a group chat. Apparently this is 25 years. So this has been going on before even I was born with my parents, and a good family friend of ours was a business partner of my parents, actually a football coach of mine for a while.
It's in Orlando, correct?
This is in a town called Vieira, which is 2 hours due north of here. Literally just take I-95 for 2 hours. And so my parents will come in from Orlando. I'll be traveling north on I-95 to a good family friend's
place. About a
half
hour north of Vero?
It's about an hour or 45 minutes north of Vero, I'd say, but correct. And so we just have it's a mosh posh of family friends that some people we just like don't recognize sometimes, but we all know our coach. So it's coach invites them, we all chime in, and he makes a spread that is absolutely to die for. It's the same guy we go to his house for Thanksgiving. That's the level of food we're talking about here. When he makes Thanksgiving for 20 people, now he's making a Super Bowl spread for 15 people or so. It's a blast, and I've been doing it
about
for
15
a
people
long
are gonna
time.
Go?
10 to 15, I'll say, will be there tonight.
Because like more than that, then it gets a little too crowded.
For sure. And he makes sure we have multiple TVs going on. They have a family room and you have a dining room table. So there are multiple places to sit, multiple places to actually watch the game. He syncs them up so you can make sure that at the same time. And it's just a massive vibe. Soft tacos, that's what it's been forever with multiple different meats. I could talk about it for ages, but it's majority of my Super Bowl memories are at his house.
So you can't even imagine watching the game without not being in a Super Bowl party.
Not being at a Super Bowl party? No, we've done it several times. So I spent a tad bit of my youth in Atlanta, Georgia, and we had to spend the Super Bowl differently. In fact, we've been talking about our favorite Super Bowl memories. One of my least favorite Super Bowl memories was trying to go to a Super Bowl party that wasn't at Coach's place in Atlanta, Georgia. There were 30 people in a tiny house, and that was the year of the Seahawks Broncos.
Yeah, so not a good game.
Terrible game. Too many people that we really didn't know. We got invited from a friend at a church that we just started going to. And so it's just uncomfortable. We didn't know anybody. The game was terrible after the first quarter and very small space to actually have elbow room with.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
And so I like Super Bowl parties, but you have to do it right. You have to do it right.
Proud hater of Super Bowl parties. Proud hater. I'm not the type. I don't know. Because you talked about it. 30 people watching the game, and then it's fun being in a group. A group. It's sub 10. Anything more than that, I think you're pushing.
For sure.
Eight's a party. 11's a crowd. So that's why I'm never really Super Bowl party guy. Only been to under 3 in my life, maybe 2, 3.
Okay.
And there are some people that do it religiously. There's some people that throw one religiously. Like your coach, Brian Rowitz, our content director, throws a big one every single year. I can't imagine something like that. That's not for me. I don't know. It's just, sometimes I guess if you're not interested in the game, that's one thing, but I can't imagine having any sort of inclination in the games, any sort of interest in the game and wanting to go to a party for it. It's hard to pay attention to the game. There are people there that are there to socialize. There's people that are there to watch the game. There's people that are trying to do a little bit of both. And there's people that are there who are quite literally just there to distract you. I don't know. Call it selfish. Call it selfish. But when the person who's trying to catch up or trying to get to know me, like, third quarter drive, can we wait till at least a commercial break?
Yeah, no. And you have to. I'm not saying that it's Super Bowl party or nothing. You have to do it right. Like when I go to Coach's place, his house is big enough to where you can go off and you're not necessarily in the fray of people watching the game to have your own conversation, right? Or you can just go to a different room, or then there's times like when I say I love watch the Philly Patriots game, that was a moment in time, the fourth quarter, you had all 10, 11 of us locked into the TV in the fourth quarter. And thankfully my family, we're sports nuts. His family, they're sports nuts. Everyone kind of has
everybody's into the game
flow of, this is a good game. This is not a good game. Because if it's not a good game, then you're at liberty to hang out and talk more while the TV is running and while the game is running. But if it's a good game, we all have this universal understanding that we're locking in and watching the game right now. So again, but that's been a tradition for 25 years. That's not just you're going off to a random friend's party to just figure out what everyone is the moment of. We all know each other. We've all been with each other. And so that's why it's a little bit nicer and you can kind of
you go early so
everyone.
You get the catching up out of the way?
Yeah, we'll be there. I'll get there just before 6 o'clock.
So you can catch up with people, get that all out of the way.
For sure. And he has a whole spread of appetizers too. So there's always food going around.
Food. Okay. Because if it's me, you get there plenty of time. All right, you got me for 30 minutes. All right, let's knock this all out. And then I'm all right. There's my seat. You want to sit and watch and talk about the game? More than happy to talk about the game. But I don't know. And are you pay attention to commercial guy?
Once in a while, yes.
I am not paying attention to commercials. I used to be. I am not anymore.
I love paying attention to the movie trailers that come out.
Yeah.
Those I'll pay attention to. And there's about 8 or 10 that are coming out tonight that I'm excited for.
I can listen to that. That's fair. I'm a big movie trailer guy myself. So it's something, I have a sixth sense. If something's coming out, what's that?
Yeah.
So I'm big on that. But The Sprite commercial and the Doritos commercial, please. That is aged out. Those days are gone.
There's a few. Budweiser I like looking out for. There's a few that come on once in a while, and there's like a brand like this is a good commercial that I'll maybe tune in for, but majority of the time, no. Like, you remember the one year Tide bought every Super Bowl commercial, and it was Tide everything. What year was that? 2021 or something like that?
Maybe.
It was Tide everything. I couldn't stand that. I don't know how many millions of dollars they paid, but basically every commercial break, there was at least one Tide commercial.
$10 million this year to get a Super Bowl ad. Woo. $10 million. Jeez. Okay, Chums and Colin Russo will take a timeout, get into our final thoughts on the games, get to some of our least favorite Super Bowls. We'll have some fun with that. It's Sunday Huddle presented by Hard Rock Bet on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
Spring training 2026 is coming fast to Roger Dean Chevrolet Stadium as the Miami Marlins and St. Louis Cardinals return to Jupiter for 30 games in 30 days from February 21st to March 22nd. Come out to the ballpark this spring and make a memory that lasts a lifetime. Season tickets, groups, and many plans are on sale right now. Purchase your baseball experience at RogerDeanChevroletStadium.com. See you soon at America's busiest ballpark.
F45 West Palm Beach isn't just a gym, it's a high-energy community. You're training alongside people committed to getting better, pushing harder, and cheering each other from warm-up to cool down. With constantly varied, high-intensity workouts designed by fitness experts, you'll never hit a plateau or fall into a boring routine. Discover the energy, motivation, and support that keeps members coming back. Visit us at Instagram at F45 West Palm Beach for all of our studio updates, specials, and deals.
Hi, this is Scott Smith with Smith Ball Baez and Prather, Florida Injury Lawyers. We are a Florida civil trial law firm that specializes in the areas of personal injury and wrongful death. Our offices are located in Palm Beach Gardens, Boca Raton, and Port St. Lucie. Our lawyers have litigated thousands of matters at the Palm Beach, Martin, St. Lucie, and Indian River County courthouses. Our lawyers, paralegals, and other numerous members of our legal team live in Palm Beach County and Treasure Coast cities and towns such as West Palm Beach, Port St. Lucie, Lake Worth, Palm Beach Gardens, Palm City, Jupiter, and others just like you and your families. We are a statewide recognized law firm, but it is your community and your families that we live and associate with on a daily basis. Our most satisfying achievement is when we know that our legal power has helped a fellow member of our Palm Beach County and Treasure Coast community secure a fair and just huge result. If you've been injured, the lawyers at Smith Ball Baez and Prather will help. Call us at 500-HELP, 500-HELP. With Smith Ball Baez and Prather, help is just a local phone call away. Offices Palm Beach Gardens, Boca Raton, and Port St. Lucie.
Mike Rizzo here. Moving soon? Trust the pros who move the pros. Call Good Greek for your total relocation solution. From packing and storage to local and long distance moves, Spiro and his team at Good Greek Moving and Storage have you covered. They've been trusted by families, businesses, and they're now the official movers of the UFC. Call the world's only total relocation company.
Good Greek Moving and Storage. Your superhero movers.
Ready to take on any terrain? The all-new 2026 Defender 110 P300S is here. Built for those who crave adventure without compromising on luxury. Lease the powerful 2026 Defender 110 P300S for just $899 per month for 36 months. Whether you're tackling the toughest roads or cruising the city, the Defender is ready for it all. Don't wait. Visit Land Rover Palm Beach today and experience the Defender like never before. Terms and conditions apply. See dealer for details.
Business owners, are your employees driving you nuts? Is money tight? Or have you just poured your heart and soul into your business and now it's time to retire and just relax? At Transworld Business Advisors, they have buyers from all over the world ready to buy your business now. Call for a confidential conversation about your business's current value. 561-203-5121. That's 561-203-5121 or visit tworld.com today.
Red right, 24 double Puma on one. Replay.
This is Sunday Huddle with Colin Russo, presented by Hard Rock Bet.
Go download that Hard Rock Bet app today because there is no better time to get on the Hard Rock Bet app than right before the big game. New signups can double their winnings on their first 10 bets. So it's maximum $50. How does that work? Your winnings get doubled on that first 10 bets. So if you want to bet, you get $100 out of it because you bet $50. Boom. Now $200. That's what you do on the Hard Rock Bet app. You can do that all throughout the night, all throughout the big game. You don't even want to put that much skin in the game. Put down a $10 parlay. Put a $10 parlay on the big game. You get entered into a pool to get $7 million in cash bonus bets back to your accounts. So if you just got to place one bet and you place another $10 bet, you get more opportunity to get that $7 million that is going to be dispersed to all of the players on Hard Rock Bet throughout the country throughout the night. Go do that. Go check out the Discover page, and you can see what other users are putting together in terms of their bets, their player props, and their profit boost. You can tap and tag along on their stuff. You can use it to get inspired on yours. Go check out the novelty bets on the game itself. That is all available on the app. Should be a great time. And what are you wasting your time for? Go get started on the Hard Rock Bet app today. It's offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus. Physically present in Florida. Wager terms and conditions apply. If you or somebody knows a gambling problem, please call 1-833-PLAY-WISE. Cade, we've talked about some of the good Super Bowls we've watched in history. What about some of the worst Super Bowls you've watched in history? What Super Bowl do you still pains you to even bring up and think about? I have one in my mind. I'm curious if we're gonna go in the same direction here.
Well, New England, LA Rams was one that
was a terrible, awful Super Bowl. And the thing is, it was two great championship games. It was a championship game, Rams Saints, where that pass interference call with Goff going down the field and they get screwed with C.J. Gardner-Johnson. The other side is that's when D Ford was offside. And that's when the Patriots knock off the Kansas City Chiefs.
Mahomes' MVP year.
That's right.
50 touchdown year.
And Brady throws an interception, but D Ford's offside, so it didn't matter. So two great championship games with big calls, I guess, that impacted the whole thing. And then you get to that terrible, terrible Super Bowl. Awful game.
Awful halftime show. That's another halftime show. That was Maroon 5.
I like Maroon 5. I don't remember that halftime show very well.
I like Maroon 5. It was the halftime show that disappointed me. There was a terrible halftime show because I like Maroon, and that's what disappointed me so much. It was not very exciting, and it was just Adam Levine taking off more layers of clothes. It was nothing that was innovative or creative about it. It was any other concert, and it was extremely disappointing. So bad game, bad halftime show. That's one that instantly comes to mind.
Despite it being a blowout, I actually quite enjoyed the Tampa Bay Buccaneer Kansas City Chief one.
I would have if I wasn't fighting 101-degree fever that night.
Oh, you were sick as a dog.
I showed up to the Super Bowl party. I drove north. I was here at school. I drove up north to the Super Bowl party that I've been going to forever. I showed up with 101-degree fever because I was like, I'm not missing this game, and I was miserable the whole time.
Yeah, I just remember watching that. I was in college when I was watching that. That was a fun one because there was a lot of crazy plays. I mean, Chiefs could never get anything going, but I thought it was pretty awesome. And I can't stand Brady, but it was as a player, good guy. It was awesome to see that run that they made, got a Super Bowl at home. Chiefs coming into the game were the big bad wolf of it all. I thought that was a great Super Bowl. That was a lot of fun. So that's one that pops into mind as actually a blowout, but actually was a lot of fun. Last year was terrible. Last year was a terrible
last
game.
year was a sprint dud.
Last year was done before
You know what I actually hated more than the game itself? You remember that score bug?
Yeah, well, that's what remember, NBC is going to have a new score bug tonight. They do that in the big game.
I know they do, but do you remember last year what Fox did with it?
Yeah, and they ended up altering it a little more.
2 just blocks of PHI and KC.
Not good.
Because the thing is that everyone knows that they do a special Super Bowl score bug.
Well, they do it to try to change it, and then they're going to see it. They're going to make alterations. They like to keep it.
But that's what you came up with?
Yeah.
After a season of knowing you're going to have the Super Bowl, that was even more disappointing than the game itself.
Yeah, the game stunk. That stunk. The halftime show stunk. I don't remember a single commercial from last year that made it worth it. Just a pretty forgettable experience last year was the Kansas City Chiefs losing and the Philadelphia Eagles dominating. And it's also, oh God, it was that a pill to swallow to see the Eagles dominate and, put together an excellent postseason run. That one that comes to mind. Another one that I didn't think was all that fun. That Denver Bronco Carolina Panther game was not any good.
Yeah, I had that one on my list.
Yeah,
too.
well, just not very fun. Not a great game. And it was, Peyton Manning was a shell of himself at that point. Cam Newton didn't even bother to get off the bus for the game. That was not
after an
one.
unbelievable 15-1 MVP season from Cam too.
Right. Like he was the best player in the league by a long shot.
And that NFC Championship against the Cardinals, I believe, was also a good game.
Yes, and they played well, and they were great throughout the year. That was the year for them. And he was awful in that game. They didn't even bother to show up. Oh, gosh, terrible. And the Broncos were due because the Broncos got destroyed 3 years before.
Yep.
But that was one that I didn't particularly enjoy. But outside of that, we've been lucky with pretty good Super Bowls. Both San Francisco, Kansas City games were good. Kansas City versus Philadelphia the first time was very good. Seattle and the New England was great. New England and the Rams stunk, but New England and the Eagles was great. That way, in terms of recent history, that Packers-Steeler game was good. The Giant Patriot game second time around was good.
Go back one more. So this is one that personally stung in my family. You're talking about just memories of watching it. The New Orleans Saints Indianapolis Colts one with the onside kick at halftime and what was the pick six? Who had the pick six in that game?
Sharper.
Yeah. That one stung. My dad is a native Minnesotan, and the NFC Championship game they had with Brett Favre against the Saints was the one where the coach put a ransom out for Brett Favre's head.
Yes, it was the Bounty Gate. That's why I'm thinking of Sharper. It was Tracy Porter.
There you go. There you go. That's correct.
I was thinking of Bounty Gate.
That one my family kind of felt robbed by because you had Brett Favre with an unbelievable season and Bounty Gate happens in the NFC Championship. Now, that New Orleans Saints offense is the best in this century. Statistically, it was the best. So they earned it, but at the same time, watching it was like, should have been there, at least for my family.
Yeah, that was a rough game, too. They went after Favre all game, and that was he had a couple close calls throughout his playoff career. So yeah, that's a good shout. And once we get before that, that's the ones that I can't remember watching completely live.
Yep.
But still, in the past 15 years, there have been a lot of good ones. We've been pretty lucky in terms of Super Bowls that have been entertaining. So even that Rams-Bengal one, sort of a forgotten one because neither of those teams really came back. But very good game. Fun game.
For sure.
And good lead changes. It was entertaining. 2 first-timers there. Maybe you get a little bit of that tonight. Two teams that maybe don't come back consistently. You've got no dynasties at play. That's sort of why it's forgotten about. But a very underrated, very fun Super Bowl.
Yeah,
so
that'll happen tonight.
Yeah, hopefully. We'll see. Based on the game, we'll get into our picks on the other side of things and our official predictions. We'll make a couple player prop picks. But are you somebody that goes away with it on the player prop side of it? We'll blitz the book next and actually make these picks. But are you somebody that goes crazy with these picks? You'll bet everything and anything?
No, I actually don't bet at all when it comes to games like this because I don't want that to be in the back of my mind when I'm watching a game like this. Because I think this also comes with the family tradition aspect of going to a Super Bowl party, one that I've been to since I was basically born. I want to enjoy that time. In fact, I have an old high school buddy who I haven't seen in a long time coming to the Super Bowl party tonight for his first time experiencing my tradition. So I'm going to hang out with him a lot during this game and we'll watch the game together. So there are a lot other things that I want to enjoy during the Super Bowl besides thinking about my bank account.
All right, fair enough. Kate Thompson, Colin, and Russo on the other side of things. We'll blitz the book, make our official picks, score predictions, and player prop picks on the Hard Rock Bet app. Stay tuned for it. Sunday Huddle, presented by Hard Rock Bet on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
Calling all sports fans, grab your MVP card and head to Duffy's where you can catch all of the action. Not an MVP? Sign up for free and start earning rewards today. Duffy's is voted the best sports grill year after year with their award-winning burgers and wings. Don't forget about Duffy's famous 2-for-1 drinks all day, every day. And with over 80 TVs in every location, you'll never miss a minute of the game. Visit Duffy'sMVP.com to learn more. Duffy's, our game is always on.
At St. Lucie Battery and Tire, batteries came before tires. We've been selling and servicing all types of batteries for over 50 years. So when you need a battery for nearly anything, we have it, as well as the fast professional installation you need. We carry premium batteries for all your needs: automotive, commercial, marine, RV, and specialty. We also offer delivery and on-site installation, serving our customers quality products for over 50 years in the home of honest, reliable service. Go to slbt.com and book your next appointment.
ESPN 1063 is your home for live sports, presented by Hard Rock Bet, the home of Inter Miami, the Florida Panthers, and the Miami Heat, with all of the biggest live events in sports. If it's happening in sports, it's happening right here on ESPN 1063. South Florida's home for sports, presented by Hard Rock Bet. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida, must be 21 plus, physically present in Florida wager. Terms and conditions apply. If you or somebody know has a gambling problem, please call 1-833-PLAY-WISE.
Hi, I'm Janice Ridenour from J. Zolo & Associates. For nearly 30 years, my firm has worked alongside business owners and their teams, helping them truly understand QuickBooks with clear accounting guidance, proven workflows, and hands-on training. We offer customized QuickBooks Online training delivered in a supportive, judgment-free environment so you can learn at your pace. If you're stressed about your books, you don't have to be. Get trained, get confident, get it right. And when you need ongoing support or you'd rather have it done for you, our experienced team is here to help. Visit jzolo.com and schedule your free consultation today.
This Valentine's Day, give the one you love a gift with endless possibilities. Give a gift card to the Breakers Palm Beach. Breakers gift cards let you treat the one who matters most to the things they love the most, like irresistible oceanfront getaways, lessons at the Breakers' new golf and racket club, pampering at the exquisite spa, and shopping at the resort's stylish collection of on- and off-site boutiques. Gift cards may also be used for dining at the Breakers' renowned restaurants and bars, including Echo, Henry's Palm Beach, HMF, and Flagler's Steakhouse. What's even better, for a limited time, when you purchase a $500 gift card online at thebreakers.com, you'll receive an additional $50 on that card, compliments of the Breakers. This Valentine's Day, give the one you love a gift card to the Breakers Palm Beach and remind them why they fell in love with you in the first place. Visit thebreakers.com today.
The countdown is on to Palm Beach's PGA Tour event. The Cognizant Classic in the Palm Beaches returns to PGA National Resort and Spa to kick off the Florida Swing February 25th through March 1st. Secure your spot to watch the pros take on one of golf's toughest stretches of holes at the iconic Bear Trap, while enjoying plenty of fan activities, local bites, drinks, and more. Tickets are on sale now at thecognizantclassic.com. Don't forget, 2 kids get in free with each ticketed adult.
Football's biggest game is here, so make sure the only heat is on the field. Keep your home in the wind column with EDS Air Conditioning. Right now, qualified customers can get 0% interest for 60 months on a brand new AC. Hot streaks belong in the postseason, not in your living room. With over 800 Google reviews and a 4.8 star rating, EDS has been the trusted MVP since 2006. Visit EDSIsYes.com today and schedule your service now. Stay cool for the biggest game of the year.
Let's go. Double right, scat right, double cowboy. Double right, scat right, double cowboy.
This is Sunday Huddle with Colin Russo, presented by Hard Rock Bet.
Super Bowl Sunday on ESPN 106.3. Colin Russo and Cade Chumsden with you. It is the 8th of February, 2026. We are, about 7 hours away, give or take, from kickoff in Santa Clara. Super Bowl 60, Seattle Seahawks versus the New England Patriots. Tirico, Collinsworth on the call. May, Darnold. Hopefully we get a good one. Seattle's the heavy favorite in this one, so we'll see what happens. But that's why they have lines. That's why they create spreads. That's why they have player props, just in case the game is not great. It is Sunday Huddle. If you missed any of the show, go listen back on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts, all those great places. Just go to Sunday Huddle, or watch it back on YouTube at ESPN South Florida or ESPN West Palm on Twitter and Facebook. All right, let's get to it. Second go-around of our 2-hour Sunday Huddle edition. Let's do a little Blitz the Book. Let's make some game picks. Second go-around. Second time's the charm. Blitz the Book with Hard Rock Bet on ESPN 106.3. All right, Cade, let's open up our apps. Our Hard Rock Bet app. Seahawks, Patriots today. We'll take a number of picks. We'll take about 3 player props a piece and take the over-under and the spread in the game. All right? We'll do 3 player props. We don't have to take the same pick like we did the last time. We already took all the novelty bets. So we bet on the Gatorade color. We bet on the coin toss. We bet on the jersey number of the first touchdown score. We bet on all the bells and whistles, if you will. Now it's time to bet on the meat and the bones. Let's start us off. We'll start with the spread on the game. -4.5 in the Hard Rock Bet app are the Seattle Seahawks. Would you take that? What is your position?
I will. I think this is going to be a 10-point game. My final score prediction is going to be 27-17. I think eventually the Seahawks make their way to a double-digit lead by the end of this game. Maybe not the whole time of this game. I don't think they come out to a ridiculously fast start, but by the end of the game, I do think it'll be double digits.
4.5, -4.5 is going to be my pick as well for the Seattle Seahawks. I do think they'll cover. I think this game will be competitive. I do not think it will be a field goal game, but I like 24-19 as my final score. 24-19, just covering off the skin of their teeth. I think it will be a close one. I actually think the Patriots are going to get an opportunity here and there in the second half to at least put some pressure on. But lower scoring, there's going to be a play or two that decide this game. I like Seattle -4.5. The over-under is 45.5. I mean, you already talked about your score prediction.
27-17. That's a total of 44, so give me the under.
Wow. I guess it makes it simple now. We already have our game predictions. But yeah, same thing with me. 24-19. That is going to be a 43. So stay tuned for that. That is going to be an under on my sense. There's 2 right there. All right, let's get to player props. Do 3 apiece. You can go in a 100 different directions here. Cade, what are you looking at?
So when I say 27-17, that means 3 touchdowns or 4 with a mixed extra point for the Seattle Seahawks. One thing that the Patriots have done excellently defensively in this postseason has been eliminating any sort of rushing attack for their opponent and forcing quarterbacks to make plays. Thing is, I think Sam Darnold does make plays. Give me Sam Darnold to record 3+ passing touchdowns for +260 on the Hard Rock Bet app.
Okay, there's your first one. I'm going to stick with Darnold as well. I'm going to take Darnold over on an interception. It's 0.5 in the Hard Rock Bet app. I think Darnold's going to throw a pick. And I don't say that's I don't think it's going to change the game. I don't think it'll make the Seahawks lose. But I think Darnold will make a mistake. And I'm going to take the over on the interception tonight. 0.5 is what I'm taking on the app. It'll be -130. So that's my first pick.
So with Sam Darnold making all of those touchdown plays, where is he going to go? You can obviously go with the obvious Jackson Smith and Jigba to score an anytime touchdown at -115. You could say he's going to get multiple with +475. But we got a guy on this team who's already a Super Bowl MVP. And I think he's going to make his name known again. Give me 1 anytime touchdown for Mr. Cooper Kupp at +250.
Good postseason player. I don't hate that at all. I'm going to stick on the Seattle Seahawks side of things. Anytime touchdown, A.J. Barner's +230 to score. I'm big on A.J. Barner today. I think A.J. Barner's going to have a big game because I think everybody in the building, Christian Gonzalez, is going to be on either one of Kupp and Smith-Jigba. They're going to be the most game plan players on the field. I think Seattle knows this. I think they're going to try to run the ball, and they're not afraid to get the other guys involved to open things up. I don't think they're going to force feed Smith-Jigba. I think we're going to see a little A.J. Barner tonight. His over-under in the yards is 25.5, but I also like him to score. Better odds, +230. That will be my second pick on the Hard Rock Bet player props. What's your third?
We've already talked about how the Patriots have that weaker offensive line. So I assume one of these front 4 men for the Seahawks is going to get to Drake May. I'm just deciding which one. Value-wise.
What are they? So it's just to record a sack?
Just to record, because everything, it's technically over-under, but it's over-under 0.5. So it's just to record a sack.
All right. So who are you looking at?
So you got DeMarcus Lawrence at 105. You got Leonard Williams at plus 140. You've got Byron Murphy the second at plus 185.
What is Ernest Jones? Does he have good odds?
Jones has plus 850
because he'll be a blitzing linebacker. Maybe he gets home.
That's definitely, talking about value-wise, that's what you want to go for. I think, so we decided to not go with the Florida man novelty bet about Leonard Williams scoring a touchdown, but let's cheer for the Florida man to get himself a sack. Leonard Williams over 0.5 sacks at plus 140.
I'm just looking at this. Let's check the defensive sack numbers for this Seattle defense. Byron Murphy's at 7. Leonard Williams is at 7. Yeah, they got a bunch of guys who get involved. Eman Worry, the rookie, the safety, has 2.5 sacks himself. Jaron Reed has 2.5 sacks. Boy, they got a lot of guys who have sacked. Okay. Ernest Jones only has a half a sack, so maybe don't take Ernest Jones, but that's exactly the reason why you do bet Ernest Jones if you're going to do that. But how about that? Okay. We'll see what happens. I'm curious to see on which guy gets home because there's, 12 guys here, 14 guys here who have recorded a sack this year. All right, I'm not going in that direction. We talked about it in our novelty picks. We were taking the under on fourth down conversions. And I think it's been a big storyline of this postseason has been the offensive coaches not knowing when or when not to kick field goals. Sean Payton did that in the AFC Championship game. You could go to Liam Cohen in that wild card game against Buffalo. Any Ben Johnson game in the history of Ben Johnson games, watch that. It just happens a lot. These guys go for it on fourth down and they get burned for it in the long run. I don't think you're going to see that today. I think you're going to see coaches that understand points are a premium in this game. They're going to try to put points on the board early and often. I'm going to take Andy Borealis. Borregales. The kicker.
Can't help you. Sorry.
For the Patriots. Andy Borregales. I think it's the pronunciation. Andy Borregales. Over 1.5 field goals. Multiple field goals for the Patriots because I don't think their red zone offense is going to be all that great, but I do think a couple opportunities, they're going to take their points. They are not going to be afraid to put 3 on the board, and I do think that should be the story of their game. I understand touchdowns win Super Bowls. How many coaches have been burned throughout the postseason with going for it on fourth down early in the game when you don't need to, leaving points on the board, and then all of a sudden circling back in the fourth quarter thinking, boy, it would be nice to have 3 extra points right now.
Correct.
How many Bear games do I have to watch before I rip the TV out of the wall? So I am big on the Patriots taking their points today, and I do think Andy Borregales, their kicker, will have over 1.5 field goals made.
Definitely can't hit it.
My parlay officially is Seattle minus 4.5. The under on the 45.5. Sam Darnold to record an interception. A.J. Barner to score. And then Andy Borregales to have 2 field goals made. Like it. Cade, to put a close on it, what was your parlay?
My parlay was, I'm also taking the Seattle Seahawks minus 4.5. I'm taking the under at 45.5. I have a anytime touchdown by Cooper Kupp. I have a specialty one where I'm going to say Sam Darnold records 3 or more passing touchdowns, as well as I'm all Seattle in this one. I'm going to go with Leonard Williams getting himself at least 1 sack. That parlay is coming in at plus over 3,700 if you put it all together.
Like it. Yeah, that's plus 5,200 for me. Jeez. That's a parlay if I've ever seen one. Jeez. All right, so that's what we have to look forward to tonight's game for the Super Bowl 60. To put a cap on it, mine final score 24-19 Seattle over the Patriots. I think Seattle's due to get one. They lost one. They let one slip against the Patriots 7 years ago, 8 years ago. More than that, 12 years ago. Jeez. And I think that they're going to get back into the promised land. They're due to get one. Darnold will change the focal tune of what everything will be in terms of letting quarterbacks develop. And this is ultimately a good thing for the NFL if Sam Darnold is able to get a Super Bowl. Cade, your final score officially, circle back to it, is what?
27-17. I like Seattle to control the game from start to finish. Maybe not a blowout from the start, but by the end, they'll have a double-digit lead.
What is worst case scenario for you in this game? What score what would be worst case scenario? Who blows it? Blowout Patriots over Seahawks?
No, absolutely not, because that will then show that they were legit. Because I would not be... I would be okay if the Patriots kind of overcame all of the hate they've been getting of their easy schedule and then beat the best team in the league.
You know what would drive me crazy? If Seattle handed the Patriots this game on a platter.
Oh, if they just
like the first time around.
Yeah.
If they did that, that would be the worst case. I don't care if it's a great game. That would be worst case scenario. And I don't hate the Patriots as much as I used to, but that would drive me crazy.
Where they had the game and then just decided to...
Didn't hand the ball to Marshawn Lynch and throws an interception in the end zone. Something like that.
Yeah, I can see that.
That would drive me crazy.
To be fair, we haven't had something like that in a long time. That's still like a rare situation. I know it's the same teams, but when's the last time we've had a team...
Yeah, like just completely... Yeah, I understand. I do understand.
So I'm not banking on that. Worst case scenario for me would be 21-0 after the first quarter for Seattle. That gives me nothing the rest of the game to look after.
Yeah, and there's nothing else to watch.
I want to watch a 4-quarter game is what I'm going for.
I guess I could agree with that. That is Cade Chums and Colin Russo here as we close things out here on a Sunday edition, a 2-hour edition of Sunday Huddle. Go enjoy the game if you're watching with friends, with family, with a group of 100 people, or watching it by yourself. Enjoy the game. Enjoy the last day of NFL football for just about 9 months. But we're not going anywhere. We'll be back at it next week at 10 a.m. As always, it is Sunday Huddle. Colin Russo, Cade Chums, and see you next time on ESPN 106.3.
The preceding program was paid for in full by Hard Rock Bet. Advice and opinions expressed during this program were solely those of the guests or hosts of this program and not of ESPN 106.3 or Good Karma Brands.
The James Hardy Pro Football Hall of Fame Invitational returns March 6th through the 8th at the iconic Old Course at Broken Sound in Boca Raton. Watch NFL greats like Calvin Johnson, Lawrence Taylor, and returning champion Tim Brown compete with PGA Champions Tour stars including Ernie Els.